Hi everybody, welcome to my latest video. It's a gloomy day, but we've had a few days of glorious weather, and I've been working pretty hard on the pergola. And by the end of this video, you will see 5 rafters up there on top, so you're going to see exactly how the pergola is going to look. They're not going to be attached, I still have a whole bunch more still to do, but they're going to be up there, and you're finally going to see the shape of this thing, and hopefully it looks really cool. I also try to deal with some flooding down on the land. I head into town. I show you 2 lunches, and I go to a yoga class and a few other things as well. So it's a bit of a diverse video with lots of fun stuff ending in pergola. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you again at the end. Good morning from an incredibly beautiful day. The window is open, the sun is shining, and we only have 2 days of nice weather before we get into another 5 days of rainy crap. And tomorrow I'm running into town to run some errands, look at water tanks, meet a friend for lunch, pick up some little bits and bobs. So that means I only really have 1 full day of sun to get stuff done outside. So my first and most pressing issue is getting this sad avocado tree out of this pot and into the ground. And that means I have to figure out what the heck is wrong with the flooding on my bottom terrace. I think I have a theory behind why the water is going where it's going, and it involves my overflow pipe, which I thought I had directed down to the middle terrace down there, but I think it's actually just popping out over here. So if we just go investigate the setup through the weedy mess, this is definitely something I need to tackle very soon as well. I am happy I put all these wood chips down because it's going to save loads of work on the garden beds. But the paths, the geotextile fabric really isn't doing it for me on the paths, and that definitely has to be dealt with. This looks very lovely. A fossilized lemon. So this is the overflow pipe. The water tank goes through here, and I thought this pipe, like I said, spat down farther than it does, but there's flooding where I want to plant the tree, so I think actually the pipe might end there. And one of the few things I know about avocado trees is they don't like to be planted in a place that's wet. They don't like wet feet, so I need to investigate the problem, and that involves digging down to see what's up. Because I've got some serious flow happening here, and my theory is that the overflow pipe, for whatever reason that I cannot figure out, must just end here somewhere. Either that or there's a leak. So I'm going to start this incredibly gorgeous morning with a bit of digging, get the blood pumping, and hopefully I can solve this problem. There is a chance that this has nothing to do with pipes, and it's just the overflow from my water tank that still leaks a bit. That would be disappointing because that'll be a harder problem to solve. My hope, well, first of all, let's use a small shovel. She is small, but she is mighty. So it looks like the water's coming from here. Okay, this is good news. I think I found a pipe. Okay, here we go. So, right here, ooh, it's muddy, it's swampy, but it's fixable. I don't know why I did things this way. I guess sometimes you stick a pipe in the ground and you forget about it. So there's the pipe there, and the good news is that this is a hopefully fixable problem. I just need to get another length of pipe and steer the water down the land a bit more. However, that'll just create a problem somewhere else. I could probably steer it all the way down to the water tank. Well, the leaky water tank on my bottom terrace. I'll just show you that right now. So I've got kind of swampiness happening here, and then over here, over the cliff edge, we have this area that's swampy anyway because water comes out of the bottom there. So I feel like if I steer the pipe to just have a waterfall leading into this tank, that's gonna be fine, hopefully. Whew, swampy. So I'll make a list of the stuff I need, grab it in town tomorrow, and hopefully I can get the avocado tree in by the end of the week. Okay, I think that'll do. On to the next thing, which I think will be pergola related. But before I get to the pergola, I thought I would give a little tour of my seedlings. I feel very behind in the growing season this year. I've got a bunch of chili peppers coming along there, and I've planted some basil, some pickling cucumbers, which I don't have many seeds for, so I need to go get some seedlings, but the guy is a faraway drive. Some jalapenos, spinach, kale, some more tomatoes, some more cucumbers, and lots of dill, and more jalapenos. So they're on the go. I also have some tomatoes in the polytunnel that are in smaller pots, so they've had a head start. And yeah, it's exciting, but I feel like I'm a little behind, so it'll be interesting to compare it to other years. So right now my goal is to put the 3 rafters that I have up in place and to just see what it looks like, maybe make some measurements. And then I really want to get the end rafter in, chop off the tree branch, and start to think about the other rafters today. But let's do it the fast way. Okay, I like it, but I don't love it. I feel like 5 rafters is gonna look a lot better. There's a bit too much spacing between them. It's gonna make things a lot harder because I still have to make the rafter, and it means I have to fasten one more into the wall, which I feel like is gonna be a pain. But yeah, I don't know if I love 4. Let's space them out as though there were 5 and see what that looks like. Okay, I think my spacing is a bit wonky. It's hard to visualize with that support in the way, but I prefer this spacing, and so it means I'm going to be making another rafter, but that's fine. I have everything I need laid out here. I've dug another piece of wood out from the polytunnel, and I'm ready to get going. So I feel like the string line would have been easier than this, but this is going to give me a more accurate line. And since I'm only using one side of this, I don't need to split it in half exactly. So this is better, even though it's kind of frustrating. Whew. That's a little bit sawdusty. Next side. Well, that was very sawdusty and rather unpleasant, but there's something very satisfying about splitting a long piece of wood like this. And I don't think I'm gonna have to do it again. I'll let this be a lesson in actually buying pieces the right size. But I've got my 5th rafter, and now I need to do some more sawdusty work, some planing, and some sanding. So the planing has been done and the sanding was started. However, this is the situation with this sander. It's not working. So I don't know what's up. It's a problem for a rainy day. There's some videos online that I can look at that can hopefully help me out. Or if anyone has this sander, looks like DBO382, Makita finishing sander, and has any tips or advice, I would love to hear it. So this is the state of the beam. There's some ridges and things that I want to sand out, and that's why that one's great for that. So instead, I tried to do it with my orbital sander, but I only have 80 grit sandpaper. So if I'm gonna accomplish it with a smaller sander, I need to pick up some more sandpaper because this stuff isn't gonna cut it. So the broken sander is a bummer for a variety of reasons. Dealing with broken tools is very annoying, and I think the nearest repair place, if I can't figure it out, is about an hour drive away. So not ideal, it's out of warranty. So let's see if I can figure it out. But it means that I'm gonna switch focus and I'm gonna try to figure out how to attach this, I don't know, piece of steel, it's not steel, maybe aluminum or something, into the bottom of the rafters so that I can use this to then fasten them into the wall. It all sounds a bit crazy, but I think I can get it to work. So my idea is basically to cut a sort of slit there that's gonna allow this piece to sit in, so it'll be in the middle, like that, but set in. And then I'm gonna drill some holes along this, fasten those to the bottom of the post, and then chop off the rest of this somewhere here. And I'm gonna end up with a long piece of this, I don't know, aluminum thing that's gonna be in the wall. So it means that I only have to drill a small hole that's sort of the size of this in the right location. So if I have to go through some stone, that's fine. I have the drill to do it. And then I've got this kind of resin stuff that goes in and gets it all in place. And it's just as strong or stronger than concrete. So it's kind of a weird idea. Hopefully it's kind of wonderful. The first thing I need to do is get the metal drill bits and see if I can make some holes in the top. But before I get to that job, which might be tricky and could require a little bit of thought, I'm gonna eat, I'm hungry. And so I figured I'd come down to Sinead's winter garden, which I've definitely been neglecting because I'm always stressed out by my summer garden and never feel so inspired to do a winter garden. But she's planted a bunch of stuff. We've got what looks like a dead rat, that's lovely. Some lettuce and lots of beets on the way. A broccoli that's gone to flower, I think that's an onion. And some beets over here that look pretty big. So let's pull this up. I love harvesting root vegetables and see what we've got, because for lunch I'll probably make a beet, walnut, goat cheese salad with some fresh beets from the garden. So she's looking mighty fine. Let's try this one over here too. So I've got a couple beets. They're looking good. I'm gonna make some lunch and then I'm gonna get on to the metalwork after that. So I've made some beet and goat cheese and walnut and avocado and red onion and olive oil and balsamic vinegar. I think that's it. Salad. I've got some freshly squeezed orange juice I'm gonna put on my little drink holding stoop. I'm gonna sit down, hang out with the lime and the seedlings, and enjoy a lovely lunch in the sun. It really is a glorious day, and I love having this little step, and I love harvesting stuff from the garden, being able to make juice. It's just great. So I'm gonna eat my lunch, enjoy the day, and get back to the work very soon. Lunch was delicious. I've had a little break. I've set up a little workstation, and I'm ready to drill some holes. Drilling into metal is tricky for me. I don't have lots of experience with it, but from my limited experience, I know that the drill bit likes to slip around. So I'm hoping by starting little holes here with the nail and the hammer, I can make it so that the drilling is a bit easier. The nail does not seem to like it, but it's made a little divot. Hopefully that's okay. Amazing. This metal, whatever it is incredibly soft, which is great for drilling, but possibly not so great for holding the rafters. I think because I'm going so far into the wall that this is going to work, but I could be horribly wrong. Anyway, this is a pleasant surprise. Let's do the other side. I possibly should have measured the distance just to make everything nice and uniform, but I think it'll be close enough. Nobody's going to be looking at this, examining the spacing. At least I don't think so. Only I will know. Cutting this could prove a little trickier. Let's see. Let's do this. Okay, that was much easier than I thought it would be. So it looks like this is going to work as planned. I think I need to get into town to pick up a bunch of stuff, including another piece of this. So rather than pushing on with the pergola, it's getting late, I'm getting tired. I don't love doing carpentry work and stuff when I'm getting sleepy, but I do love sleepy strimming. So I'm gonna say goodbye from today. I'm gonna get on the strimmer, zone out, enjoy this lovely evening, and get some grass cuts. So goodbye from today, and I'll see you again very soon, either for some more work or maybe from the hardware store. We'll see. Good morning. It's a brand new day, and it's actually 2 days since last we met. I spent yesterday in town running some errands, and even though it was a beautiful day that would have been great for working, I wanted to go into the water tank place and chat to them about pumps. And I also wanted to see the water tank with my own eyes to get an idea whether the size is going to be good enough. I got some information about pumps. It's all quite confusing because I don't really have a massive selection here. It's just one type that they have to offer. So I've got a little bit of research to do online because I think I'm looking for something a little more small and a little more simple than what they have on offer, which these ones I think are around 300 euros each, and they're enormous. And I think a smaller, more compact, more affordable solution does exist. So I've got some research to do there. I've visited the water tank. I like it. It's cute. It's a lovely size, I think, and it will be hopefully perfect tucked in behind the fig tree. I also met my friend Kimbo for lunch. We picked up some chicken and took advantage of the beautiful day with a little picnic in the park behind the restaurant. And then I started today a little slowly with a yoga class. So I'm just easing back into work. Kimbo runs a fantastic yoga class, and it's really great because a lot of my friends go to it. So we get some yoga in, I get to catch up with my friends, have a coffee and a pastry afterwards at the cafe nearby. And it's just a really wonderful way to start the day. If anyone's interested in doing yoga classes with Kimbo, she's a fantastic teacher. She has a few different classes. So if you live in the area and are curious about that, I'll put the details below. So check that out if you're into yoga, and maybe I'll see you in a class one of these days. So of course in town, I was supposed to buy another piece of metal. I forgot to get that, which is a little frustrating, but I did pick up the pipe that I need to connect the pipes by the avocado tree, so I can hopefully rid that of the flooding. I've got some more sandpaper that's going to be better for the sanding the beam, and I've got some screws to finally attach everything together. Okay, so I've got my 40 grit sandpaper, and hopefully that's going to allow me to get rid of some of these ridges that the planer's left, and then I also want to round over the edges at the front as well. Well, I meant to show you some of the staining process, but sanding took so long that I just kind of got on with things and then got in the zone and totally forgot. So The rafter, the final rafter is done, ready to go up. I did want to show you that I was dealing with these little guys. I got nipped on my feet a bit, so the ants are back in full force. I do not like seeing these guys. Hopefully this year I can find a way to deal with them a little better. So all of the rafters are done and ready to go into place once I figure out what I'm doing with the holes in the wall. That needs a little bit more thought, but I'm on track, I think. So next up, I've got a few screws still to put in. These screws. Maybe it's me, maybe I need to do better pilot holes, I don't really know. Maybe the bits suck. I don't want to blame my tools, but I just always have this problem. Let's try once more. That's better. All right, one more. Hopefully this goes okay. All right, it made a scary noise, but they're all in, and now I can take off this strap, and everything will just look a lot better. Okay, so hopefully when I remove this thing, it all stays where it's supposed to be. So I love ratchet straps, they're a wonderful tool, but sometimes they can be tricky to use. I think ratchet strap dyslexia is definitely a thing. So, let's see here. Done. Done. Okay, string off, and now let's see what this thing looks like. I love it. I'm especially happy. Everything has stayed in place. Nothing seemed to shift around, which is a good sign. Just wanted to come over here and show you the jasmine that's in full bloom. It smells amazing, and the wonderful smells are just wafting around the place. And yeah, I really love having that there for privacy and for smelliness. In a good way, good smelliness. So let's see if I can get these pipes together now, and that'll allow me to cross another small but kind of annoying job off my list. And it'll give some time, hopefully, for the spot where I want the avocado tree to go, to drain out and become a little less of a swamp. Because right now, she's looking a little crazy. I want the tree to go somewhere around here. I'll eventually do a nice guild around it, sort of a garden bed that supports the tree. Hopefully it'll get a little bit of shelter from the stones, soaking in the heat, to protect it in the winter, and that's the plan. I've planted a mango tree here before, and it died, so I don't have a good track record with trees in this area, but I'm hopeful, ever hopeful. Okay, that goes there. This goes like that. That goes on like that. Okay, that seemed easier than I thought it might be. And this thing screws on, and in theory, tightens everything up so that there's no leaking. But the way that these pipes are designed, it's not under pressure, it's just gravity, so it doesn't have to be on super tight. The water will go where it needs to go. Okay, and now the other one. All right, that's in. That's in, that's on. And now this pipe should be steering the overflow water down to the bottom terrace of my land. And maybe this will dry up by the end of today. It is quite sunny and hot, and I'll be able to see if there's any leaking. But I think I probably won't know for until next week, because we've got a couple days of rain coming up, as I mentioned. So I found this pipe in the land, hooked it up, and it should be spitting the water out somewhere down there. So I guess I have to get down there to see what's up. And I actually think I'm going to take this over to the well, but I'm going to leave this for another day because it's a jungle down there, and I'll get in there first with the strimmer before I start messing around with anything. So it'll be very interesting to monitor the situation and see if I still have a water issue in that area, or if this solves the problem. So as I mentioned, sanding took a lot longer than I expected, and so I don't really have much time left in the day. I'm heading out soon, but I'm going to bang out one more small job before I go. Hello from a brand new day. It's gloomy out here and it's been raining all day, but I finally had a little break in the weather. So my plan for today is to do a whole bunch of stuff inside the house, some tidying and some preparation for work on the weekend. But I can't possibly let you go. I can't end this video without putting these two rafters up there so we can see finally what this thing is going to look like. So the rain has started coming down again, so I can't really be dilly-dallying with the camera out. So we're gonna do this the fast way. I'm really into the snap at the moment. Okay, the rafters are up. They're not yet slotted in at the top. I need some adjustment. Obviously it's not measured properly, but it gives you an idea of what the space is gonna look like. And I gotta say, I am really quite pleased with this. Still lots to do. I've got to figure out going into the walls, but honestly, I think it's gonna look really cool, and I'm just quite pleased with myself about how this is coming together. And even though it's not done yet, I would be very curious to hear what you think so far. So leave a message in the comments. I do love hearing from people, even if you just want to say hello. Well, the rain is now coming down a lot harder, so rather than standing out here like an idiot, I'm going to go inside. The whole weekend is basically a washout, so I'm going to find stuff to do indoors and probably not do any work in the pergola, but it looks like sunny skies ahead from, I think, Monday. So I'm going to get out of the rain. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.